Hey everyone, welcome back to AndyDemos. Today I'd like to show you a new digitally controlled analog phaser from Flower Petals. It's their Castilleja. The Castilleja is a 4-stage analog optical phaser with digital control, the best of both worlds. Unlike the classic phasers this pedal can emulate, the Castilleja has much more flexibility over its speed, intensity, and voicing. Thanks to a 3-way feedback switch, the phase tones can be subtle colorations or super swishy, and a variable wave shape control can dial in 4 waveforms or in between them for near endless swirling concoctions. The voice of the phaser can also be changed from phase 90 style to Univibe chorus with a single flick of a switch. Or if you prefer a wetter mix, you can get into vibrato territory by holding the right footswitch and getting into the secondary voicings. Going above and beyond, the Castilleja's level knob boosts beyond unity gain for an extra bit of output when you need it most. And its speed control pushes the boundaries of a conventional speed knob. First, you can tap the tempo with various subdivisions, and additionally ramp momentarily between 2 different speeds. The Latch ramp mode gives you 2 preset speeds with a single tap, much like a rotary speaker. And finally, the drift ramp mode acts like a pendulum, constantly modulating back and forth between 2 speeds at a rate and depth of your choice. If that wasn't enough, you get the choice to plug in a remote tap or ramp foot switch or an expression pedal to control the speed. Like all Flower Petals, the Castilleja is handmade in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and is expertly designed for maximum functionality and low noise using high-quality components. Before we get too crazy into the speed control, let's just start with the core sound of this analog optical phaser. And I want to show you the different voicings as well and get into those waveforms. But let's just start with a very slow phaser without any feedback, so it's your classic 4-stage phase tone. So it's a nice warm and gooey sound. Let's add some feedback, and this is going to make it sound a lot more swishy, so we could adjust the intensity here as well. Here's the maximum feedback, and I've just backed off the intensity a bit. So it's got a lot of edge if you want to cut through, and notice the volume is hardly, just above unity gain, so you could actually get a lot of output. So let's back off on the feedback once more and just crank up the output and see what kind of drive we get. In addition to changing the intensity and the wave shape, you also have those other voices and the waveforms. So let's try some other ones. And on top of that, we have the other voicing, which is vibe. That's like the chorus setting of a Univibe. And actually, if you hold down the hold switch, you could actually get into the other mode of a Univibe and even get a different voicing of the phaser by taking some of the dry signal. But let's just start with the regular vibe, and then I'll show you the secondary voicing. Now let's make the slow speed slower and the fast faster. So first you hold down the hold and set your fast speed. Now let's go slower. Let's get back to the phaser voicing, and I want to show you that last drift mode, which is basically like I mentioned earlier, a pendulum swinging. You sort of set your initial speed, and then you could sway back and forth and sort of, get faster and slower. And that motion you could set with the speed when you hold down the right foot switch. So let's start with the initial speed, and then I'll walk you through it. Now let's set the depth of that pendulum swinging, and that's by holding the right foot switch and adjusting the waveform. So you hear sort of two rates, the initial rate and then that sort of back and forth motion. Let's get a very slow speed change so you can hear what's going on. And here's how you get the other side of the Univibe. You get a little bit of the dry signal cut out, so you're in vibrato territory, but it also does this in the phaser mode, so it just gets a little bit more wiggly, but it's still very much a phaser. So let's start with that 50-50 wet and dry mix, and then I'll switch over to the secondary voicings of both the phase and the vibe. The LED is now blue, so that's a really helpful feature too. Well, there you go. Flower petals sort of redefining what a compact orange phaser can do. And you can find out all about the Castilleja at flower-petals.com. Thanks for watching. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll see you for another Andy demo real soon.